Hello and welcome to our 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And this is your podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last in match of the day and not getting the flowers they deserve. But that's about to change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Due to some scheduling difficulties, we've mashed together Matchday 28 and 29. We're going to run through how each team got on in those two matches, now that Alex has made it off a snowy mountain all in one piece physically, but how about mentally?
No, not there mentally. If you've come for this pod to listen to in detailed analysis about the football that happened over the last weekend and midweek, you've come to the wrong place.
Alex has just dragged himself out of bed after a week of work and many beers on a snowy mountain, right?
Yeah, exactly that. We're here Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Yeah, it's gonna be a slog. But to be fair, caught up on all the games, and I was just sat there like, why did this weekend have to be this weekend for football? Why did shit have to go crazy?
It was typical that the last pod we did was after a pretty boring weekend, and then the following weekend, that Saturday, everything just went absolute batshit, and then the midweek games were crazy as well. It was typical.
Mate, shit just hit the fan. I was sat in the bar after we'd been skiing. Well, I say skiing like I'm good at it. After I'd fallen down a mountain for fucking 4 hours, hungover to shit. I was sat in the bar looking at all the scores come in, and I'm there like, oh my god, this is my worst nightmare.
There's so much to talk about.
I was like, why can't everything have been 0-0 for fuck's sake? And my voice sounds croaked because I picked up a cold out there because it was obviously freezing. Hopefully it gets better during the pod, but yeah, should we take a break and then just, like you say, run through the teams and everything that happened over the past, week and a half?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're back. So, Tom, where do you want to start?
So, obviously this is unconventional for us, but I have grouped the relegation race teams because I think that is where we're starting to get towards with the most intrigue left for us in the season. And I think call it bias, but I'm going to start with West Ham because I think the fact that we've won against Fulham has made things interesting, and then the other results going our way.
I'm going to pretend to be shocked that you put West Ham first, like all the listeners probably are. Oh, there's no bias in this pod. Oh.
Well, yeah, there was no chance of putting Crystal Palace in their battle for 12th position first, so it was always going to be West Ham. But
what are you on about? We had the whole country behind us on Thursday night.
You did. It was delicious. We'll get on to that. West Ham in their two matches lost 5-2 to Liverpool and beat Fulham 1-0 away. The 5-2 to Liverpool, you can't defend corners like that, but outside of that, we played pretty well, and I think the scoreline really flattered them.
Yeah, I know that feeling, weirdly enough. When we lost to Liverpool 7-0 in that COVID season, it was like, what the hell, we didn't play badly, but we lost 7-0. It was just like everything Liverpool shot went in, and it felt quite similar for you guys in this one as well, where like it was a good game, but for some reason, it's just sometimes another team's quality, isn't it? They find the back of the net with pretty much every shot, and I think you have is saved. But
yeah, exactly. Cool. It was like 3 corners went in, and then 2 deflected shots went in, and it was just like it just felt they had immense amount of luck that day. But we, as I said, we played well in possession. We created chances. We kept nicking the ball off them, and just didn't put enough of them away to make that game interesting. But yeah. I think it didn't. The result didn't do any damage, and we saw that against Fulham.
That was the worrying thing, isn't it? That's like all the momentum you've had to then get thumped 5-2. But it's one of those things where I've talked about. You're going to have to rely on your experience as a Premier League club for such a long time to get you through that, and realise going to Anfield and losing 5-2, the fans aren't going to turn against the team for that. Like most of the players in there understand that's just something that happens when you go to like a big 6 club away as well. So the mentality is still strong there, which is good, which why my prediction feels like it's going to fall flat come the end of the season. But then, like I say, moving on to the Fulham game, I put down in my notes, like, you've had quite a few big results now, but from the outside looking in, that looks like the biggest result of the season for you so far. Going away midweek to Craven Cottage, not the Craven Cottage, the fortress of anything, but still being able to bounce back from the 5-2 and go away and be a mid-table team when all the other teams drop points. That must be absolutely huge for you. Biggest win of the season, do you think, or biggest result of the season?
I don't think so, because I think the Spurs result that kind of like obviously that followed the QPR one, but that was the first league game that spurred this turnaround. I think that will go down as our best game, as our best result of the season. But this is absolutely huge. With, as you say, the other team, no one around us winning. Forest picked up an incredible point that we'll get onto, and we'll get onto the Fulham side of why this happened later on. But this was absolutely huge in the race for survival. Like I've been hesitant to be like, yeah, it's on. We're gonna do it, kind of thing, because all this time we have been in the relegation spot, and we are still in the relegation spot with Man City playing at the London Stadium next. So it's not like we're getting there, but there is still a lot of work to be done. But the Fulham result was really positive. The referee was absolutely god awful. He was some championship chump who got the call up, and he was just desperately giving wrong decisions. He should have given a handball against Iwobi.
Handball is outrageous that's not given. Okay, championship referee. I think the referee in this whole period has been shambolic. Like I was saying to someone in Spurs away end on Thursday, like, do you think PGML get told just to like have a really bad week some week just to stir shit up in the media again, that they need VAR and everything? Because it's what it felt like. There were some weird decisions everywhere. But there will be one bad refereeing on the pitch. How VAR doesn't get it is it makes no sense. It literally the rules do not make sense.
Yeah, and then they tried to give a penalty to Tom Kearney later when he just kicks the back of Fernandez's leg. Like it was just a really, really bad. And then he played like 10 minutes of extra time after giving 6 minutes. Where I don't know where he even got 6 minutes from. It was a typical 3-minute extra time game, and he gave 6 and then played until like 100 minutes in. It was crazy, which obviously did not help my nerves. Like for the last 20 minutes of the game, was just in absolute agony. Just like, come on, please, just see this out. Like. Somerville scoring again. I think he's got 8 in his last 10. He's been incredible during this run.
Is that goal the most Fulham goal to concede as well? Like,
oh yeah.
After they had a big result at the weekend.
We'll get on to the Fulham part of it later, because there's definitely stuff to say.
Completely shit the bed with that. Like, what is Leno doing? Why does he just come out and like boot it away?
Yeah, bad birthday. Bad birthday for Leno, that.
But then, I mean, the composure finish from Somerville is actually really nice as well, so can't take away from that at least. But like I say, that not propels you up the table, but it propels you into a position where you were above Forest at one point at midweek, weren't you?
Yeah, when they were losing to City, which they were losing twice, but there was one point when they were 2-1 down because we scored. I think we scored, then Forest scored in their game, and then City scored, and it was out for a spell. We were out of the relegation zone, so it's getting there. We've made it interesting. Given 6 weeks ago, we were both saying West Ham were dead and buried. Like it looked awful. That 4-game spell where I was saying we need to pick up like 7 out of 12 points from, and we picked up 1 from them. I think it ended with that. I think the last one was that Forest midweek one. But there was like the Wolves loss, the Brighton draw. Like it was a really, really bad run for the team to have gone on this run where I think in the last 10 games we're like 9th in the form table, like from being basically dead and buried. Just like really like a lot of props to like Nuno and the squad for keeping that like togetherness and being able to go on this run.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think every season, media and even us get like a bit ahead of ourselves of who's going down, but you did seem quite adrift. You just didn't see how the team were going to turn it around. And of course, the 2 games that I thought would make the whole of West Ham implode were the 2 games that probably saved the season with QPR and Spurs. So it's probably my fault for fucking putting so much on that.
No, it was really right, and I think Axel Disasi coming in has been an absolute rock at the back. Hermanson getting the nod over Areola. He's looked pretty good in most of these games, apart from the Liverpool one. So we'll see. There are 8 games left to play. Like,
Yeah, big. Should we move on to Forest then?
yeah, go to Forest. I lost 2-1 to Brighton, and then a incredible 2-2 draw at Man City.
Yeah, I didn't see that one at City Car, but might as well talk about the 15 minutes at Brighton because that game, I think that was the game where I was like, fuck off, what is happening? I was like, how is this happening? When I saw
You know
15
what
minutes,
happened? You know what happened is I said to myself that day, I was like, oh, I'll watch the Brighton Forest game because obviously it's got implications for West Ham. I was out and I got in at like quarter past. I think it was a 2 o'clock kickoff. I got in at 2:15, turned it on, checked the score, and was like, oh, I've missed 3 goals. And then I was like, you know what's going to happen now? No one's
nothing,
going to score for the next 75 minutes.
absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
But I mean, there were a couple of very nice goals in this game. The Gomez strike that opens it up, like it's like a nice little half volley. Should Souls be doing better with it? I kind of put it down to like it's one of those power league goals I describe when it hits like the right corner of the net and there's nothing you can do about it. I always referred to that because I was a goalie because I was so fat when I was younger, so I was always in nets at power league and balls would just be hitting the side of the net every fucking time. I was like, how the hell am I meant to save that?
Yeah. I can't get there, man. I can't get there. It's too far. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Forest were quite a distant second best in this game against Brighton. Like the Morgan Gibbs White goal was nice. All of the goals were pretty nice, I
Yeah.
think. But
That Morgan
like,
Gibbs one, a proper swaz on it.
yeah, I knew you were gonna call it a swazzer, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I think, I mean, Brighton really should have put them away. We'll come on to them later, but Forest, they did always feel like they could have maybe got something on the break at some point, and especially sort of late on when it was like starting to get a bit nervy because Brighton hadn't put them away with the chances they had. It was only 2-1. It was like, all right, Forest may grab something here, which like obviously I was rooting against for my own interests, but yeah, but it did feel like they were distant second and deserved to get beaten, which is why I was so surprised that they went to City and got something.
Yeah, I mean, my notes I put why Forest, why? This is not what the country wanted. Like anyone apart from the City taking points away from at this point, please. But I mean, if you're a Forest fan, you do not give a fuck, and it's a massive, massive result. I mean, when Semenyo puts City 1-0 up, you're probably thinking the worst as a Forest fan, aren't you? Like, yeah, we know what's going to happen here. We're probably going to lose like 3 or 4. Morgan Gibbs White back heel to make it 1-1 is absolutely sensational.
Unreal.
Sorry, not just a back heel nutmeg, which makes it even better. I was kind of hoping it went through Donnarumma's legs as well in the replay, so it could be a back heel double nutmeg. And it would just be like, that is the sweetest thing to ever see. Rodri then comes in, makes it 2-1. Haaland pen, what do you make of that? I'm sorry, Forest fans, but I think that's a pen all day.
Yeah. I agree. It was definitely definitely a pen. I think it was light, but I do think it was a pen.
I can't even figure out what the reasoning for not giving the pen was. Was it ball had like gone was going away from goal or outplay or something? Or was,
Yeah, I just think it was a little bit soft, but
it seemed fucking crazy to me. But then step up Elliot Anderson with an absolute like stunner of a goal to make it 2-2 and give Forest all the points. Like, well, sorry, that's not really everything that gives Forest all the points. But what do you make of that goal?
oh, it was a beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. It felt like in this game, Anderson and Gibbs White really stepped up and was like where possibly they haven't done in recent weeks as much as you would hope from your like clearly 2 best players. Both of them in this game when like they had their magic moments, and I think Anderson's apparently come under some criticism. I think we're both of a differing opinion, but I've seen some pundits saying that he's not been playing well recently. But I I think he answered those critics in this game and showed the level that he can play at and the talent that he has with this goal.
If you want to be negative, I would reckon they're putting them both in the shop windows in this game.
You could definitely be cynical and say that.
Yeah.
I would not disagree.
But then I think probably the biggest point of the game for Forest right at the end, the Murillo goal line block right at the end. Like, we've seen that before for him, and I've always understood why Forest fans absolutely love him, why Forest fans are, why he's going to be leaving, well, why at the beginning of the season, why they're going to be, why he's gone at the end of the season. But he saved them a point there. He saved them numerous points with his goal line clearances before. He's just an all-round great defender for him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how City don't get a goal at the end.
No, I'm sure. So I had this one on with the West Ham game on the TV, and I'm sure Forest fans will be delighting in and reveling in the fact that I was like sitting there going, "Why? Of course, this game. Like, how many games does City win? They're going to batter us next week probably." And it was like, of course, in this game where I need City to, I need this ugly beast of Man City, the football conglomerate rubbish. I need them to win a game, and they bloody can't score for once. They're gonna hit 5 against us, and I was just sitting there just going, ugh. I know I'm going to go on this little mini rant, and I hope Forest fans are enjoying it, because I was just like, for fuck's sake.
You always know what's going to happen, isn't it? I remember when I was in the relegation battles, it would be like, oh yeah, easy win for that team, don't have to worry about it. And they'd go fucking lose. It's just like, why? Why do you do that? And oh god, cool. I mean, like I said, annoyed with Forest for doing that, and maybe giving Arsenal a title, which I don't think anyone in the country apart from Arsenal fans want. But I mean, it's a big point for them. I honestly think if Forest drop below you at the end of a game week, that could be it. I mean, that's such hyperbole, sorry, but I think mentally it breaks you quite a bit as a fan. Because I always thought, like, as long as we're not dropping above this team that's been like down there for so long and dropping into the relegation zone, mentally as a fan, I can keep going.
I know what you mean. I think there's also the flip side of that. Is like, right, we've got to this point now where we're level in the relegation zone on goal difference. If we get battered by City next week and Forest win, then it's back to 3 points, and then it feels like that 3 is a massive 3, like bigger than like a normal 3. It's like, oh, we got there, we got level, and then we get knocked back down, sort of thing. So I think there's a lot of mental games when you're down there, and a lot of bargaining and stuff that you do as a fan when you're down there staring at the relegation zone, just willing your team to get out. And if you do drop into it, you think it's all doom and gloom, sort of thing. So I think we'll see. I hope we'll see some switching about over the next like few weeks. I hope it'll be like 1 week in, 1 week out, etc. Like, make it a proper interesting one, because it's been a minute since we've had a relegation race like this as well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm just happy Palace aren't part of it, in all honesty. But it gets some excitement to the end of the season as well. So here's our dilemma, Tom. And I don't think we ever thought we'd had this dilemma starting our 14FC podcast. Are we going to have to start talking about Spurs on this podcast?
Well, the thing is, I really never want to talk about Spurs. Like, I honestly, it's just one club that I absolutely can't stand. Like, obviously as a West Ham fan, but like,
you're talking to them about them in a relegation battle, mate. Like,
yeah, it's great. They're fully in the relegation battle. I still don't want to talk about them. Like, I just want them to get relegated.
What should we talk about? Should we talk about the Fulham and Palace results then?
Yeah, we'll talk about it then.
Okay, it's really hard, man, to not talk about when they're probably going to be in this relegation battle till the end of this season.
I know. We've made a rod for our own backs here, but
who would have thought? Who would have thought this would ever happen?
Well, I mean, it could have been fairly obvious if we looked at last season when they finished 17th and went on to hire Thomas Frank and a bunch of mid-table players, like a bunch of hired guns. I mean, they look like they look devoid of anything. They look like an absolute shambles. We'll talk about it in the other games. Yeah,
definitely a Palace one. But yeah, let's move on to Leeds. The City game I didn't have many notes for. Like, Leeds came out quite strong, but I feel after they didn't get the early goal, it's a bit...
Yeah, I think I kind of have the same feeling for both of these games. Obviously, they lose both of them 1-0 to Man City and then Sunderland. And I think Leeds were just really, really unlucky in both of these games. Like, I think they created plenty of chances in each one. My main note is I'm just not sure how they didn't get a single point from either game. Like, not like they could have got 2 wins, to be quite honest. They played plenty well enough that, like, obviously against two tough teams, like. The City one is obviously really tough. City, up until that Forest game, looked like they were going to go on their usual their annual tear towards the end of the season. So it's kind of like
pretty much like you can do what you want against that City team, but they just on that roll where they win every fucking game.
Yeah, it's like a free hit, and Leeds had plenty of chances. Like Calvert-Lewin had like 3 or 4, I think, that he really should have been put. There was like a couple of them that I was actually astounded he didn't put one of them away.
Yeah.
But then Sunderland, you can say like their away record isn't great, but it was pretty evenly matched game. I think like it was like both teams created chances. I don't think it was the greatest game in the world, but I think it was a decent enough match that probably a fair result would have been a draw, but like someone just got out on top. With what decision?
Which one do we want to go with? The Luke 9 chokeslam?
No, I mean there are plenty of other VAR decisions. I would say that Jakob Biel should be scoring from the corner that he has like a free header on, like and I probably would have backed him to score it. So I think there are worse decisions that we've seen.
In this game or across the weekend?
Across the weekend, like across these 2 match rounds, like we could be sitting here for an hour and a half talking just about VAR or like refereeing decisions. So,
I mean, Roden then has goal disallowed for offside, probably fair with that one. Then you have the handball for the penalty. I want to say it's not handball, but it's hard to argue with that second motion. Do you know what I mean? Like when it first hits him, it's fine, but that second motion, even as probably a natural movement of your hand. It don't look good in the replay, does it?
No. It's one of those that once it's given, they're not going to overturn it either. So, like...
Yeah, exactly. And Diarra puts the penalty away quite comfortably. Do Leeds need to start worrying a bit again, do you think?
Well, they've lost 2 games back-to-back for the first time since November. I definitely. I mean, I was texting my mate Ant, who I hope him and his family are all okay. They're out in Dubai at the moment. But and it was before this run of these 2 matches, and he was like, "Yeah, I feel pretty confident now." And it's crazy how 2 games with the other teams, like with West Ham picking up points in that period, it's kind of changed things about. It did feel like at one point Leeds had made themselves pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
I think it was after that Forest game, like we were like, okay, that's probably Leeds out of it, and now it's like, oh, actually, I think what my feeling is the fact that there's 4 teams in it. I don't think Leeds are the worst of those 4 teams, and I think they showed even though they lost both of these games, they've still got plenty, and I think they'll right that ship.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where they think they're on the same points as us, and I was like, yeah, they're safe. Because if they're safe, that means we're safe. But yeah, you guys picking up points. It's just a 3-point gap now, which is... It's crazy to think, because maybe Leeds get a bit comfortable with it, which you can't afford to do. You just still need to be picking up the point per game ratio, don't you? If you're going to get anywhere by the end of the season. But yeah, it's probably a little bit of squeaky bum time for Leeds. Yeah, who do you want to move on to next then? Do you want to talk about Burnley and Wolves, or do you just want to summarise how you're feeling about those 4 teams altogether?
I think that's how I my last point on Leeds is how I kind of feel about it. I'm glad there's 4 teams involved. Because that gives me a better chance. If it's, like one of those situations where it's just 2 teams fighting it out for one spot, then it's a little bit more difficult. The fact that there's 4 teams involved within 3 points of each other gives me a bit more hope that West Ham can get out of this. And the fact that we, in this time, have been on such a good run, as I said earlier, like 9th in the form table. I think Forest have been on a good enough run. Tottenham are obviously free falling. It would be absolutely amazing if they go down. It would be fully well deserved, and I will be absolutely laughing my head off. Leeds, I think, will probably still have enough. As I said, I think they've played well enough in these two games that the results, whilst I don't think the results are too negative for them. So we'll see. It's going to be a real interesting last few weeks.
Yeah, being honest, from the outside looking in on it all, I keep changing my mind who I think's going to go down. Like, obviously, the whole season I've been thinking you guys. Then it changed to Forest quite recently because I was just like, changing from Sean Dyche to Pereira didn't make sense to me. Some of the performances since Pereira came in have been abysmal. Then you think Moore Gibbs White and Elliot Anderson in the middle. If they do turn up, they can win pretty much any game. Spurs, I haven't watched enough Spurs to really know or care what's going on, if I'm being honest. But like you're right, they are free falling. I didn't realise how they hadn't won a game in 2026, which is unreal. Like in the league, Leeds, like I said, fall completely done as well. So it's gonna be exciting to watch. And yeah, I'm just happy. Like I said, I'm not down there whining about it. Yeah, cool. Should we move on to Burnley then?
Yeah, we can give these two some time of day, but obviously I think the point distance kind of makes it a little bit done now. But Burnley, I think they got robbed in that Brentford game.
Yeah, I think Burnley's form and luck kind of ran out in that Brentford game. I think because they'd picked up 4 points from the previous two games before that, and you're thinking, okay, there's a little bit of a run here. Maybe there's the slightest glimmer of hope for them to get out of the relegation zone. But yeah, I think after this game, it's kind of done for. And yeah, I think you're right. They got robbed. No surprise. Who was the referee at the centre of it all?
Yeah, but that's harsh, right? Because
I don't care. I don't care.
that's a little harsh because the on-field decisions weren't necessarily that bad. It was the VAR decisions getting involved, and that Jaden Anthony offside. I don't give a fuck about the technology. That's never offside. Like we've gone too far. Like we used to be a proper country. Like let's bring it back. Let's all have a sit down and realize that the technology has gone too far, and it's not just this one. No. And then it doesn't seem to touch Barnes' arm, in my opinion. Like I just don't see the clear evidence that it touches his arm.
Maybe I haven't seen all the angles. I think it's one of those that now is handball. Because what's the rule? If it hits the person who scores arm, no matter what happens, it's a handball, right?
But I don't see it clear evidence that it touches his arm. I just think we've just gone so far. We've made so many addendums to the rules that's like, oh, okay, now it's only if it's the player who scores. But if the player before him touches it with his arm, that's okay because we didn't see that one. Yeah, so we're not gonna go back. And it's like we've just gone way too far. The handball rule was you're not allowed to touch it with your hands, like. If it's a meaningful touch, like if you meant to do it, and we've just gone so far away with that the laws of the game are just they're just tripping over themselves and contradicting themselves.
I think the only way I see it is, I don't know if I've told about this before. We either do something like they do in rugby league, where you have the captain's challenge on a call, and you get one per game, and if you're right, you keep it. If you're wrong, you lose it. I think people say like, oh, that would waste too much time, but would it waste too much time? We're wasting so much time anyway.
My only problem with that is the people who are going to be reviewing the challenge are the same people, so they're going to come to the same decisions. Like if Barnes was like, oh, I challenge that, the VAR are just going to look at it again and go, actually, yeah, that we're sticking with our decision. How often do we see like the referees go to the board, go to the monitor, and even if they very rarely change their decision, or they very rarely stick with their decision. They're always told, they go to the monitor and they go, oh, I'll side with the VAR. So it's always that it's like a boys' club where they just go, oh, okay, the VAR's told me this. I'm scared to make a decision.
We know it's a boys' club. We know there's no process to it whatsoever. Like that, the reasoning for what I said is basically because that's the only way I can see us keep. Well, it's going to be kept because there's been so much money ploughed into it. We know how much money's been ploughed into it, personally, from having worked with companies behind it before, and it's just they're it's not going to go. So you need to find a way to refine it. If they're not going to put any processes in, any proper processes in with people doing it, like they have in cricket, where it's like, okay, check this first, check this first, check this first. That's clear, that's clear, that's clear. Like you say, from everything we've heard from the audio and seen, is literally just a boys' club. It's like, all right, Sam, I'll just wait there for a sec. We'll see what's going on there. It's just absolute.
And then they're like, "Oh, let's go back to here. Let's go back to here." And I agree. If you add we need to add some process, like not just be VARing every decision, and just be like, if it's like manager like challenges or whatever. Anyway, like we're not going to solve VAR right now. We're going to be raging about this decision for the rest of the season. I think Burnley fan.
My thing I wanted to get to with all that is like, what it's done there is robbed fans, robbed Burnley fans, has robbed neutral fans of what would be a classic Premier League moment forever to be remembered. And yeah, you could say the Curse Fleming one, where he makes it 4-3, would be one of the greatest ever Premier League comebacks if Burnley went on to win it. But then even the 4-4, like, it would be one of the greatest Premier League moments ever. Look at that Arsenal Newcastle game, like what they come back from. Was it they come back from 4-0?
4-0, yeah.
And you have the moment that's like sealed in Premier League history forever. We'd have another one here right now that's been fucked off because of VAR.
Oh, 100%. How many of those classic Premier League games could we go back and look at with 2026 eyes and technology, or refereeing and technology, and some of those classic goals get chalked off for whatever reason based on the rules and the officiating that we have now, and would like. It's just diminishing the game.
Yeah, it's not football anymore. That's a chant the Palace fans have been saying. I imagine a lot of other fans have been chanting whenever it comes up. It just isn't football anymore when that shit happens. But yeah, we probably ranted about that for too long.
Well, yeah, let's just lastly touch on how good that comeback was, because there were very loud chants of sacked in the morning towards Scott Parker when they were 3-0 down. For them to come back, and Scott Parker, whether it was him or whether it was the team, like getting behind that and forcing that, it's an incredible comeback for Burnley. I know the end result doesn't get them anything, and that's frustrating, but it was really, really good. But then they just kind of no-showed against Everton.
Yeah, he did no-show against Everton. I think that game, is that the one where I had the momentum cut off, where it was basically all Everton throughout the game. But yeah,
I had it on and I was like, this is one-way traffic. Like, Burnley have not done anything in this game, and they honestly look like they'd forgotten that they were. Maybe it's the damage done from Saturday and that Brentford game, and it's just like completely knocked any chance of confidence out of them, because if they'd have got a win or a point in that Brentford game, then maybe it buoys them on to go to Everton. But especially at Everton, where we'll get onto them, but they hadn't won a home game in a minute, so like they were there to be got.
That's why I want to refer back to what I was saying about West Ham and basically having that Premier League like experience and knowing like, okay, we can't let this 5-2 defeat damage us into our next game where it's probably quite winnable. Where that, like I say, I feel like that 4-3, that last minute VR decision takes a lot out of Burnley's team, probably takes a lot out of their fans who just think that's it now, it's done, like luck's run out, form's run out, and what we're going to do. And it's hard to bounce back from that, especially with a midweek game. So
I mean, it could be so damaging that they end up finishing below a resurgent Wolves.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a good time to move on to Wolves, who
did you like that?
Come in. Nice little segue there, Tom.
Thank you. Wolves 2-0 against Astonvilla and then 2-1 against Liverpool. They had the best week of anyone. Like, unreal.
Wolves ate well this week and a half. I don't think anyone saw any of this come in. But I just want to... I mean, Wolves were really... Do I want to say they were really good in the Midlands derby? They took their chance.
Yeah, they took their chances. I think they gave Villa a game. They made it they conceded chances, but they were scrappy as anything.
You can almost talk about these two games in tandem, can't you? Like,
oh yeah, it was Wolves' backs against the wall in both of them, and then excellent countering. It was a perfect like relegation sort of scrappy performance from both in both games. But
this is like what we were saying about near the beginning of the season where they were like in games, but they weren't getting anything out of it. Then they had the period where they had nothing and they were nowhere near to being in games. They've like come back to it now and they've got 2 results out of it. The Gomez goal in the Villa game with a lovely Armstrong assist. I know you don't rate Armstrong. I don't rate him either, to be fair.
I mean, I don't think it's he's done it on purpose. I think he's making space for himself, and and Gomez has just nicked it off him. So I won't be giving Armstrong any credit there, thank you. But
I really thought you could like, yeah, it was a nice assist. I'll take some of my words back. Nope, double down.
Nope.
But, yeah, Wolves big clearance off line for Mascara, and yeah, just catching Villa on the break with a brilliant finish from Gomez. And Wolves
all the Gomez scoring for Wolves this week. I think it was 3 of their 4 Gomez scored this week, or one of them scored twice. I don't know.
Yeah, one of
too
them
many Gomez Wolves.
One of them scored
4
twice.
Gomez.
Yeah, because one of them scored twice. Because I was there like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to do some research to figure out if it was the same one or if it was different ones.
Which I think it was Rodrigo Gomez who scored in both games, and João got one against Villa. But yeah, and then the late drama against Liverpool. Like, what a way to beat them!
What a way to beat them! That was brilliant, wasn't it? Right.
Just absolute limbs. Edwards celebration. Like the vibes of Wolves. I think to touch on your point of like when at the start of the season when we were like, oh, they're in these games, and yes, they had a spell where that confidence just got completely knocked, and they're back to it now. They're far and away not one of the worst Premier League teams we've ever seen.
That's it, isn't it? Like, does a lot of props have to go to Rob Edwards, do you think? Because what they've done is probably get rid of players that didn't want to be there, like Strand Larson. I think probably both teams with that have probably benefited from him not being there anymore. And yeah, they've gone on and become a proper team, and there seems like a bit of togetherness there now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, absolutely. We talked about it when he came in. Like, it was a really difficult job to take. Sorry, because he has an affiliation with Wolves, so he couldn't feel like I feel like he couldn't pass up the opportunity, even though it was essentially saying we're going to be relegated and this is a job for next year. But there was always the off chance that if it went so badly that he wouldn't get that opportunity. But I think since January, since that West Ham game where they battered us, and this week he's surely earned himself that chance to turn Wolves around next season. And you're right, they shed some of the players who weren't pulling their weight in January. The Strand Larson deal was a good deal for both teams. I think he's looked good at Palace, and Wolves get close to £50 million for a striker who wasn't starting for them. Yeah. So like they should be in a really good position, I think, if they have a good summer to retool and come straight back up.
Mate, what do you mean come straight back up? They're staying up.
Mate, if they stayed up, could you imagine? That would be unreal.
That would be.
Although then I would need 2 teams to go.
Mate, that would have to be the great. I'm not even going to get.
Yeah, that would easily be the greatest escape. Nothing would come close to that.
That win we got against them looks better and better every week.
I mean, they're still only on 16 points, so they're 12 points off safety still.
Hey, never say never.
And they've played a game extra.
Yeah, but form-wise, they've only lost one in the last 5. That's mad. What if it's just all green? All win everything till the end of the season?
If Wolves win everything to the end of the season, then I will buy a full Wolves kit and walk round central London in it. You can hold me to that.
I will hold you to that, and I'll be praying for that now. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's everything relegation-wise. Where do you want to move to next?
So from here on, I've just gone essentially from top to bottom in the table. We start with Aston Villa, who have had a horrible week of results, but not necessarily performance.
Yeah. I mean, if someone had predicted that they would be cursed by something, and it seems to be happening, who would that have been, Tom?
Are you putting this all on poor Tammy Abraham's shoulders?
I'm not putting it on him. I'm not putting it on him directly. I'm just saying, I thought he'd come in and it would all go wrong for Villa, and it has.
I mean, he did he even start either of these games?
I don't think he started or even played in one of them.
He did, yeah, it's a strenuous pat yourself on the back, I would say, Alex.
I will, because I am not mentally here at the moment. Oh, stag do, and I said some random shit, and some random shit is happening. So I will take that to the bank. That's how this podcast works.
All right, it's turned into a hot take show. Yeah, moving away from the Tammy Abraham of some of it, the little of it that Tammy Abraham has played a part in. Like in both of these games, Villa created plenty of chances. Like in that Chelsea one, they created loads, and then you look at the result and they got battered 4-1.
They did get bad. You think when you go 1-0 up in the second minute, it's like, cool, this is us, we're done all the way. And then, yeah, to absolutely just get battered 4-1, it's not a good look, is it?
No, in that Chelsea game, I was looking at it, and I think 2, 3 of the goals come from Ezri Konsa not running with his marker. They come in from that left centre back position from behind him. He's not in line with the other defenders. He's 2 or 3 steps forward, and Pedro, I think it was for both of them, goes into that position behind him, which something to keep an eye on with Ezri Konsa, who I know has a lot of credit, a lot of fans in the game, but Villa's defending has been woeful at times this season, and was in this one because, as I say, going forward they created plenty, but they just looked so open at the back, and Martinez stopped it being from a cricket score as well, because he made some really, really good saves, and it was still 4-1.
It's just so strange, because Villa did look like they were going to keep the form up, and an atrocious 2 games, like you say, but not performance-wise. It doesn't really make sense to me.
No, but it's like everything that could have gone wrong outside of that has gone wrong. Like Emery walking down the tunnel after the Wolves game without shaking Edwards' hand, got beef there. At the end of that game, Konsa had some words with the Villa fans. They lost their grip on third. Now Man United have been resurgent. Like it just, despite, as we say, the performances not being terrible, it went about as badly as a week could have gone for Villa.
So you could say they're almost cursed in a way.
Stop pushing this agenda. If they drop out of the top 4 altogether, or if they drop out of the European, if Villa finish 7th, then yes, I agree they are cursed. There you go.
Right,
and then I will buy you an Abraham cursed shirt.
Oh god, did you get a pay rise or something? You really to throw out the shirts at the moment.
No, I'll just be tapping up the people at the Premier League that we used to work with and be like, hey, you got a Wolves shirt lying around.
Oh god. Cool. Where do you want to move on to next then?
Flip side, Everton have had a great week. 3-2 win against Newcastle, 2-0 win against Burnley. Like that, absolutely sensational week for Everton. Really, I think put them in a great position to make a charge for a European spot. After 2 losses, to get 2 wins, they looked really good.
Yeah, mate, to go away at Newcastle and win, like, I know Newcastle have been very patchy this season, but I feel like just going away there's always difficult to do that. Mm-hmm. And then to get that first home win in what feels like ages for them is absolutely massive. And Dave Moyes is doing bits. I think probably start the Newcastle one. They just didn't really let Newcastle gain momentum in this game at all, really. It felt like anytime Newcastle did get on top, Everton just struck back with a goal pretty much instantly. And then there's a massive, massive save for Pickford at the end, which I thought probably is going to end up being save of the season. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Pickford, who everyone loves for some reason. Him and his T-Rex arms, and
how can you still sign off about T-Rex arms after that save?
And his TV saves. So yeah, it will be save of the season because then he like roars after it because he knows the cameras are on him. Like
give it a rest. The power Tonali gets behind it, for him to like get a hand to it, a strong enough hand to like tip it onto the bar, like that was sick.
Nah, it's a world class save.
Yeah, but then obviously, I guess going back to the goals in the game, Braithwaite opens the scoring from a corner. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen. Well, I mean, we are starting to see these goals quite a lot from Everton because you got the Tarkowski one from Gardner, another bullet header to get it in. Ramsey makes it 2-1 through. I'm sorry, 1-1 through deflections. Beto pounces on a mistake from Nick Pope, and it's a pretty bad mistake as well, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a really, really bad mistake. I think we saw in this game the good, the bad, the better of it all. Like there were some things that he did really well, some things he could have put this game out of sight for Everton, but
Well, of that one-on-one where he never looked like scoring and then manages to hit the bar.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, come on, like, like you should be putting that back at the back of the net. But Barry bundles one in. That is the most comic goal of the season, maybe.
Mate, do you know how you have penalty tries in rugby? I call this one like a penalty goal, even though we do have penalty goals in football. But it's like he got fouled but still scored.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like, how did he not touch it with his hands? Because like it just naturally would have put his hands out, but it just seems to like squirm in off his chest. Like it was a definitely comic goal of the season for me.
100%. Then in the game against Burnley, they just completely dominated Burnley. I think, like we already spoke about, it just seemed to be all Everton. They get a good goal from Tarkowski, and then Dewsbury Hall really puts his mark on the game. And
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall was absolutely superb in this game. Like he looked so like a Rolls Royce of a player. Like he was so good. And I know he had that injury and he'd been coming back. He'd played pretty well since he come back. But yeah, this was him back to his best. And yeah, just I think good to get a home win despite Moyes brushing that aside. I think Everton fans have maybe felt a bit of grumbles about the new stadium this season. It's natural when you go away from what's been your home for over 100 years, like to the new environment, to not feel as settled and stuff. Like obviously I know it well, but so I think hopefully this win gives them a bit of a boost.
yeah, it's hard to feel sorry for Everton fans because all I have in memory is my mate's dad giving me the middle fingers after they beat us 3-2 after that. But no, I wish nothing but good stuff for Everton. I hope that Hall Dickinson becomes like Goodison was, but I think Goodison was probably my favourite away ground in the Premier League, so it's going to be a hard one to match that. But if anyone can do it, Everton fans can do it, and yeah, push for Europe, do you think?
I think so. Like it depends on if we say seventh gets a European spot this year, which I think it does with the Conference League, right?
I think
Like
it's kind of is it guaranteed now because so many English teams have got through in every.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
We can double check on that.
To be fair, it's all going to
It's-
change when Palace win the Conference League anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
what and then get demoted back to the Conference League next
Fuck
year
off.
for admin reasons.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Uh, nice, just twist the knife. Yeah, Everton. I mean, they're still a little bit inconsistent. Like they lost the last two games before this run. I do think like obviously picking up 6 points here is massive for them, but there's still quite a few teams. I struggle. I was trying to like obviously we had the relegation race group. I was then trying to group the rest of the teams, and there's not really a lot between them. Like between Brentford in seventh on 44 points and Brighton in 14th, there is 7 points between them.
But
So like
7 points is a lot now with the amount of games left. What, we're 9 games left? I
it
think
is,
that,
but my point is Everton have just got 6 points in that period, so they would have been essentially at the bottom of that pile before this like midweek and weekend. They were and now they're eighth, and we're like, oh yeah, they get up, they'll be up there. So it just takes a couple of games, and they could be like, oh, actually we're back down to 10th, 11th.
I don't know. That gap is a 3 point gap. I think it's Everton and Brentford's to lose now. I can see them probably keeping that form up. But yeah, everything's going to change. I don't know why I'm talking out my arse.
Well, let's go to the other team that you mentioned there, Brentford. That they are the victors of that Burnley game that we talked about, winning 4-3 on the road, and then a pretty drab 0-0 draw with Bournemouth. Like a game that I thought offered so much and delivered so little.
Yeah, it's crazy that, isn't it? Like, let's not talk about a 0-0. I mean, we touched a lot on the Burnley, Brentford won. But I mean,
From a Brentford perspective, though,
yeah,
Sade back on back after a poor run since December ended. Like he gets a goal for Burnley.
I mean they showed everything that they're good at and everything they can do in that first 30 or 35 minutes, and it was
Oh
just
yeah,
like, yeah, they can sweep teams away. Thiago can score against everyone but Arsenal. It seems still butthurt about that. But yeah, and they look like they were probably going to tear Burnley apart, like 6-0 or something silly. But
yeah, and they probably should have. I
I
mean,
think
it would like,
conceding
yeah,
just
if we
before
talk
half
about from
time,
a Brentford perspective, that comeback is pretty bad because I know Burnley have been coming back in a couple of games. I know they came back to beat
so
you at Selhurst.
yeah, I didn't really want to talk about any Burnley comebacks that deeply. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I think for a Brentford team that are chasing a European spot, that I think they probably should have handled this better. It did feel like they kind of let the momentum get to them at times when because like you go up 3-0, yes, you're away from home, but you're playing the team who are 19th in the league. Like you should have I think if you felt confident about how Brentford can defend, which we have at times, but there have been other times where they have these games, right, where things they just lose a little bit of control
Hmm.
and things don't go their way and
Yeah,
they
but they're
start
not usually
start
they,
making uncharacteristic defensive mistakes like KO'd and stuff.
but they're not usually 3-0 up in those positions. They usually don't get goals in those games. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Which is the strange one with it. What do you make of the deal for Keith Andrews to 2032?
I mean,
I
he
think he deserves a new deal, but I
yeah.
think it goes back to like I think Brentford's managers are like just a part of the bigger machine, which I think we've seen with Thomas Frank leaving it and everything. But 2032, it's a long time. Like it feels like you're making a rod for your own back to put payments out and whatnot.
I imagine he's like the least expensive manager in the division, though. So I don't imagine that this really boosts changes that much. Like I don't imagine one Brentford paid that much on their managers because, as you say, they are more a system manager and they're more
Yeah.
a coach than a manager sort of thing. I think he's probably pretty low down on and like obviously he was a set piece coach before. He's not got a history of management and stuff, so he's not going to be coming in there going, I want 10 mil a season or whatever. He's going to be fairly low. So I think it's brought him up, but I imagine he would still be like at absolute best, the 15th best paid coach in the league. But I would probably put my bet on him still being 20th.
No, that's fair enough, actually, when you look at it from that perspective. Nice, cool. Anything else you want to touch on Brentford?
Damsgaard immediately clowned us
Yeah, he did.
after we were like, has he had a bad season? And then he went out in that Burnley game and was like,
He
no.
scored a fucking header. He scored a fucking header.
Yeah, how's he scoring headers now?
How was
Oh,
he scoring a
it won't touch Crescencio Somerville scoring a header though. That's still like
header?
what the F header moment of the season.
The most outrageous one. I remember, I don't know if you ever did it, but when we were at uni, if you scored a header of Aaron Lennon on FIFA, you had to do a slit in your eyebrows. Those were the days. Nice. Should we move on to Bournemouth, or should I say Bournemouth this week and a half?
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Hey, they've
yeah,
had
two
enough
draws.
entertainment. They've had enough entertainment for one season already, so they can probably have a
Yeah,
week off. Can we be fair to that?
I was gonna call them Drawmouth.
Bournemouth.
That's better than Bournemouth.
Dude,
They've drawn 4 of their last 5 games.
Bournemouth just sounds like a drug dealer in Bournemouth.
Is there someone that you know, perchance?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was me.
Yeah, drew 1-1 v Sunderland and then drew 0-0 v Brentford. I think both of these are just fair results. Like I didn't really have much to say about either of the performances or the matches. It was just like, okay, you played a Premier League match and you got a point in both of them. That is what happened. Like that's really as far as my analysis could go for it. I think they're ninth now, 40 points. They've done incredible to come out of where they were after that really bad runner spell where with all the relegation stuff I've been seeing like like some graphics of like, oh, where were teams 10 games ago, and Bournemouth were down there like 15th, 16th sort of thing after that really bad run. I do just think they're probably just going to finish 9th, 10th.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it does feel a bit like they're just drifting a bit now, but with 3 like draws and a bounce. But also, like you were saying before, 40 points, 2 wins does take them a bit far up. I know it's going against what I said before, but if you're drifting and you're 9th in the table, you're probably not complaining after you've lost all your like first team players at the beginning of the season, your talisman in the middle of the season. The only worry you got to think is Areola probably ain't staying at the end of the season. Areola, sorry, isn't staying until the end of the season, is he?
I was going to like, when did they sign West Ham's keeper?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think there's always been a resignation that Iraola will probably depart at the end of the season. Like, I think they kind of kept hold of him last summer a little bit, just without there being absolute clamour for him. And maybe there might not be this summer as well. It depends on what teams are looking for managers and stuff. But he would be a name that if I was a big club, I'd be looking at Iraola, because the work he has done with Bournemouth. Yes, they had that bad spell this season, but to get out of that and to now be comfortable, safe, possibly looking at maybe trying to break into a European spot with 9 games left, like that's a pretty good position to be in for Bournemouth.
For that position, really. But yeah, cool. I think that's everything we need there. Where do you want to go to next? Fulham.
Yeah, next in the list, Fulham, and it's just inconsistent Fulham strike again. And I double checked with I listened to some clips from Fulhamish podcast and to see if this wasn't just an us thing of calling them inconsistent Fulham, and they said the exact same things. They rightly blamed the changes that Marco Silva made for the West Ham game, which I was very, very happy with as a West Ham fan, seeing the lineup. Like, Harry Wilson was out with a knock, so that's fair, but they made quite a few other changes, like Issa Diop playing, Tom Cairney playing in the middle of the park, like Josh King is a bright talent, but he was out on the right wing. It was beneficial to West Ham, and feels like dropped points for Fulham, where after they battered Tottenham, they battered them. 2-1 was a nice result for Tottenham.
It's unreal, isn't it? I don't know how it finished 2-1. You look at it, it's like, wow, this should have been a cricket score.
Yeah. They absolutely put them, like, they should have put them away a lot more. Like, the goals in that one, you can argue Raul gets away with a push, but it's against Spurs, so I don't care.
Yeah, but I think that push is exactly the thing what happened against Gabriel, isn't it, in the North London derby that wasn't given. So consistency ain't really there. But yeah,
Iwobi was great in that game. Iwobi was just unreal.
He scored that goal 100 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, outside the box with the side of his foot, the inside of his foot, just like perfectly into the corner. And Harry Wilson volley is really nice as well. Just He's probably my start of the season. That kid.
Yeah. I mean, you say kid, he's like 29. But
29 already.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm adding a couple of years. He might be a little bit younger than that, but I do think he's older than you think, because he's out of contract in the summer, and he's out of contract in the summer, and he's not being linked with like Liverpool or any like a top 6 team. He might go to Villa or something, but yeah, he's getting on a bit, Harry.
Jeez.
But yeah, Fulham. Inconsistent Fulham. Look at their last 5 results: 3 losses, 2 wins. Like, it's just the same. They're just the same each season under Silva.
All over the place, but they could still sneak into Europe. Like, that's fair.
They could, but this was a great chance against a West Ham team who were desperate and were there for the taking at times. Like, we defended well, but a better, more consistent team could have definitely put us away in that. Like, we were under pressure, we were nervy, tense at times, especially late on in the game, and Fulham never really looked like scoring.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you completely. Cool. Should we move on to Sunderland then?
Yeah. A really, really big win against Leeds.
Yeah,
away from home, hard like to win at Leeds at Ellen Road in a night game, given Leeds' atmosphere and Sunderland's away record. That's a great win.
it's a real turn up for the books, isn't it? Like everything you'd think that'd go the other way kind of went their way. But I
Hmm.
mean, we touched on like I've touched on VAR in that game, but Sunderland showing they can do a bit more away from home than we expected.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was a good week for Sunderland. I think they kind of stopped the rot a little bit because they had lost their last three games before this, and then getting that draw against Bournemouth kind of stopped the rot, and then just sort of kind of grinding out, but getting the better of Leeds in that second game just sort of gives them enough to to stop the slide a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't have much more to talk about Sunderland, if I'm being honest.
No, I think they're possibly at risk of just. I think they could maybe. I think a good season for them now is just trying to finish above Newcastle.
Yeah, but mate, in all honesty, if you had given Sunderland fan like cliche talk all the way, if you'd given us any Sunderland fan, you're what 12th in the table now? No, 11th in the table now. There's 9 games left. Bite
Got
hand off
the got the
4-0.
FA Cup. Got the FA Cup game against Port Vale tomorrow. Like they it's still an excellent season.
They're
It's
having a
just that
season of
they've stopped a little bit of a slide.
yeah, they're having a season of their lives. Like obviously, it might look a bit the shine might come off because they were like what the top four for so long, but I don't think
That was
any
it was
Sunderland.
never sustainable though.
Yeah,
Like it's a long season. They did incredible at the start of the season, and it's given them this platform to just be comfortable now.
you're so right. It is just finished above Newcastle now, which I don't know if I predicted that. I predicted they'd beat Sunderland home and away, didn't I? I didn't predict they'd finish above them.
Correct.
Yeah,
You did not finish. You did not predict they'd finish above them. But let's go on to them. Newcastle lost 3-2 against Everton in back and forth game, and then last minute winner against Man United 2-1.
yeah. Last minute winner against United with 10 men. Like, gotta give them
Yeah,
props. Like that was
I think that red card was harsh, by the way, because
oh, it was
I
insanely
don't,
harsh.
I don't think Ramsey is really appealing for a penalty. It kind of looks like, yes, I think it is. He's expecting contact and goes down, but he's also running at full pace, and we do see players do that where they just sort of like to stop themselves will kind of like bundle over kind of thing, especially if they're expecting contact. You're kind of like trying to protect your
Yeah,
body a little bit. So he's doing that, but the way he reacts, he's just like on it, just sitting down,
he
like ready,
doesn't.
about to get up, sort of thing. He's not like waving at the referee.
No, there's
Like
like a minor appeal when he's going down,
he
like a really
looks,
quick one, and then
yeah, I think
then
he
he just
looks.
like falls and like just slides along the floor. I think it's an insanely harsh red, but that red kind of galvanised Newcastle to go and get the opener through a definite pen. Any question of that, even if it was
Oh
for
no,
minor,
nah. Diana did well to get that penalty. He
yeah.
drew the foul.
And then what was it? Casemiro equalises just before half time. I think United probably scored that goal 100 times now as well.
I was going to say we have seen that Fernandes free kick, Casemiro nodding it in at least 5 times this season, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And then Ramsdale does well to keep, well, a couple of efforts out, one from Euro, point blank range, should probably be scoring, and a long range one from Xerxes that kind of stings his palms. But I think Newcastle probably get what they deserve. Is that a bit much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were battered after being down to 10. I think they still kept it interesting. They still had chances. They weren't just they didn't just sit back and defend for what was it, like 45 minutes or something after Ramsey went off. Like it was a fairly long time. And then they bring on Osula, who off on the break gets the strike. It was interesting that Vissa didn't come on though.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That is
Yeah, because I was
interesting.
looking at it and I was like, because Gordon starts up front, which is, I don't know if Vissa has a knock. I would probably need to monitor that a little bit. But yeah, Gordon starts up front and then they bring on Osula because Voltemada was out with an illness as well. So, interesting times for, like, I don't think either of those signings have gone as well as they could have, as much as I think Voltemada has done pretty well in his first
I
season.
mean, for first season, it's just if it was spanned across the whole season rather than all at like the first half of the season. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of thrust into doing it at the start of the season. I think maybe the physicality of the Premier League has taken a little bit of its toll on him in his first season. So I mean, I've seen some pundits and that saying, and some rumours that he might be going back to Germany and stuff, and I'm like
surely not.
Don't write him off yet. Like, he's like still really, really, really good. But yeah, they do have this Osula kid who I know Newcastle fans have been expecting a breakthrough at some point, but he kind of flashes every now and then, but has never really looked like doing enough.
No, but I mean, he scored the most FIFA-esque goal I think I've ever seen. It
Oh,
reminded
yeah.
me of FIFA 16 big time, where you just finesse the shot from outside the box and it curls around the keeper and in. Yeah, St James's Park into absolute like limbs with that. To beat United
Beautiful.
last minute when the refs have been on their side in the last two games to give them pretty dodgy reds. That it felt like justice was kind of given at that point.
Yeah, my last point on this game was beautiful kit matchup, like
Yeah.
just peak Barclays kit matchup. The like both teams playing in their home kit, the red against the black and white was just like, yeah, this is vintage.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Cool.
Let's go to the battle for 12th.
Yeah, it does seem to be like that, just going up above each other and swapping places constantly. Yeah,
Let's go with you first.
Huh? What'd you say?
Let's go with you first.
Cool. Yeah, I touched on the United one. I haven't really watched this game back. I've just seen the goals because I got so much abuse from my partner's family whilst I was away, and I was just like, I don't even know what's happened. Like, I'm not going to go into it, but apparently the red card's very, very dubious. So I'm not
Really
surprised.
harsh.
Yeah.
Really harsh. And like the contact stops right on the line, and then also, what are the rules now about double jeopardy? Because they give the penalty and they give the red card.
So I think, listen on my podcast, I think the rule is if he had just if he'd kicked Cunha, it would have been a red card because it was like playing for the ball. But the fact that he's pulled him or touched him with three fingers and he's dropped to the floor like he's been shot in the legs, that makes it a red card. So,
yeah, it's really, really harsh. That I think we saw the highs and lows of Lacroix in this one though, because there was a lovely header to start that.
But yeah, don't really need to talk any much more about that United game, I guess. But then we move on to the Spurs one, which was a very fun Thursday evening for me and my mum at the Hotspur Stadium. We were both walking up there dreading the game. Like, it was just, maybe not dreading's a bit harsh, just both were a bit like footballed out with Palace at the moment because there's so many games. We're going North London, which is a long journey on a Thursday night. Both a bit tired from work and everything. And then get there, the game begins. That VAR for the offside is unbelievable.
Stupid.
Apparently
What was the
nose is
offside by
now-
his nose? Yeah.
Nose is now offside. Well, if you have
That's
a
what I'm
massive
saying.
cock, if you have a massive cock, yeah, is that going to get called as offside now as well? Like, what the fuck, man? It was absolutely outrageous.
Not that you would ever know.
Outrageous. But yeah, then that as soon as that gets overturned, I'm like, cool. I've seen this story before. Spurs are going to go down the other end, score. We're going to lose 3-0.
Yep.
And yeah, Archgray gets round, Wharton and Richards. Solanke puts it in, and I'm just there like, are we really going to be the people that lose to Spurs and like stops the relegation train that they're on?
Quickly, how annoyed were you that Archie Gray went on that run? Because I know that you were slandering him earlier in the season when you were like, he's rubbish. He just got a lucky little header against us.
So annoyed, but he was probably their best player on the pitch. I can eat my words on that. Like, I can eat some humble pie because he was their only good player in that team.
Fair.
But
I love that it gave them hope.
That's so.
It was so beautiful because I was annoyed as well, and it sounded like it went pretty loud immediately after that. Like, I think a lot of tension and relief when they get that goal, then they just kind of almost immediately shot themselves in the foot.
Well, let's get to the fun stuff then. 10-minute period. I can't remember a 10-minute period like that from an away game I've been for a very, very long time. Maybe Everton 3-2 when they did us, but that was more than 10 minutes, I think. But yeah,
it must have been sensational just watching all of the chaos.
It was sensational. Like, what was it? Sarr gets pulled back. No one knows what's happening because the officiating had been so bad, also all over the place at the beginning of the game. the red card gets given, and we don't know if Sar's somehow been sent off for diving. We don't know which Spurs player has been sent off because it's down the other end of the pitch. Then to find out it's Mickey van der Ven's been sent off, and it's just they're like, oh my god, Sar is going to literally tear this team apart now because they have no pace at the back. If we're just going to put balls in, it's going to happen. Scores a pen, and as soon as we score the pen, Spurs are all over the place. They have it. I've never seen anything like it for a Palace team to basically be like, we're going to score at free will here. We should have had 4 before half time. And I said to my mum, if we didn't get at least 2 or 3 goals before half time, we're going to be in big trouble because Spurs were at 6s or 7s. Strand Larsen's goal is the finish that we were hoping we'd get from him, putting it through the keeper's legs. Walton with 2 assists as well. And then the Sarr one to make it 3-1 was, it was just really, it felt really Spursy. It just felt like, yep, put the ball over the top, keeper's not going to come for it, dink it past him. 3-2 in the, what was it, 51st minute of the added time. It was glorious. And then the rest of the second half, I think we probably knew we weren't going to get another goal in the second half, and that's why we had to make the most of that injury time there, and then being down to 10 men without a plan. But then after that, it was bedlam in the away end at half time, and it was just taking the piss chance for the rest of the game. It was sit down if you're going down, say hello to the Millwall. It was just awesome. My favourite one, I think, right, when there was a minute to go, all the Palace fans were chanting, you're going to boo in a minute.
I was watching this on TV and I texted you that this game was just absolutely delicious as a fan of one as West Ham with like obviously hating Tottenham, 2 as them being in a relegation battle with us, and this result going absolutely perfectly, like Van der Ven, their best centre back, getting sent off like
for such a stupid challenge.
So
Sarr
stupid.
wasn't getting to it.
But also, if he does get to it and scores, okay, fine, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Now, and you've got 11 men. Like it's such a boneheaded decision, and it's just so typifies how stupid they've been playing in recent weeks. Like Romero gets sent off. Like Van der Ven's now been sent off. Like they have no discipline. As you say, they looked all over the shop. I mean, the only time they looked good was when Palace just took their foot off the gas, and for like maybe 5 minutes after the offside goal, because they were like, oh, we got galvanised a bit by a decision going our way, and then Palace in the second half take their foot off the gas and are just like, well, we comfortably see this game out. Unless you get a second, then maybe things get a bit nervy. But whilst it's 3-1, Palace looked absolutely comfortable. And my last thing on this game is just, I was just eating up the compilations of all the sad and angry Spurs fans. Like there was one guy who they kept showing on the BT Sports
the really
coverage,
angry one with the hat,
with the snapback on, and he was just he looked like fuming, but it wasn't like he wasn't going like aggressive or anything like that. It was all inward when you're just seething of something. And I'm sure you could have done similar compilations of West Ham at some point this season with some of the fans, especially in that really bad Christmas period. But it was just absolutely chef's kiss to watch.
See, I have nothing against Spurs really, but those compilations, I think it's just like it's kind of funny. You can't not laugh at it.
So funny.
The cameraman was like on it because there was like empty seats like at just before half time, people leaving the stadium. At the end, they're like going around the stadium, and there's a guy just stood there with empty seats around him, just vaping, looking miserable. It's just they're like, what? It felt weird. It felt weird having the whole country behind us as well for that game. Like going into it, everyone was sending me like the reels and memes of being like, the whole country right now. It's the Palace fans it's that reel of the Palace fans in the garage like chanting, which was made by that Millwall fan. It's just they're like, it feels strange, but it was a big.
I mean, it was a one-off. It was a one-off. No one else cares about Palace now. It was just every footballing fan in this country wants to see Tottenham get relegated.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's so weird. But yeah, I mean, the only downside I take from the game is the Munoz injury. I'm hoping he hasn't done anything too bad for his shoulder, because like as soon as he went off, we were like, that's probably our season done now. Which
can be difficult ones. Those we've had players who've been out for like 3 months with a shoulder injury or something. So it could be the end of his season.
Yeah, I really, really, really hope not.
We'll see. But yeah, we've got one more of our other 14 left. The other side of El Gatwico, Brighton 2-1 win against Forest. A spoke earlier about that. They battered them really. They definitely should have put more away. And then a loss 1-0 against Arsenal, which not really much to talk about in that one. I think the Forest game showed a much clearer plan of attack and style of play than Brighton had showed, especially like if I compare it to that Palace game. Like they looked a lot better in the Forest one.
Yeah, I mean Veruca in the second one just deciding to give Arsenal a go probably made.
Well, I thought this too, and then you see the deflection, and you're like, okay, maybe it's not that bad because it's a pretty big deflection.
He was doing what everyone in that stadium wanted, because all Brighton fans' second team are either Arsenal, United, or Chelsea. Sorry, did I say second team? They blend the teams together into one. I have a friend that lives in Brighton who's both a Brighton and Liverpool fan at the same time, so try and explain that one.
Yeah, you know me and my affiliation for Borussia Dortmund, that I couldn't do two teams in the same country, let alone two teams in the same league.
Yeah, so
like that's where my football fandom ends, is West Ham and Borussia Dortmund.
Let's be honest, everyone left that stadium happy with the results that they wanted.
Very, very cynical look from you.
Really? Is that just a little bit cynical?
Well, I mean, I don't know enough Brighton fans to verify this.
They don't exist. They don't exist.
To be fair, the only other Brighton fan I know is also a Man United fan, so
really
the shoe does kind of fit. But yeah, I mean, there's not that much else to say about Brighton's week. They are just batting it out with Palace for that. Well, I mean, neither of them are actually in 12th, but they both seem to be battling for that bottom of the rest of the pile sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, we got 12th in the Conference League. They just got 12 to look forward to. Oh, cool. Should we go into the predictions for next week then? Well, not next week, the week after, because we've got FA Cup, haven't we?
Well, yeah, next weekend.
Yeah. Who do you have in the FA Cup? Are you still in it? Or did Brentford... No, you got Brentford?
We have Brentford on Monday night. I hate that they put this game on Monday night. Monday night, I've got West Ham Brentford, and then Tuesday night I'm going to see Poppy at Roundhouse. So, and I'm in office both days. I'm going to be exhausted by Wednesday.
Oh, mate, that's not good.
I know. Anyway, let's go to predictions for next Saturday and Sunday.
Cool. Burnley, Bournemouth. I'm going to go 0-0. Straight off the bat. Good start.
I'm going to go Desmond 2-2. Doesn't help anyone.
Nah, Sunderland, Brighton. 2-0 Sunderland. I think that win might give them a bit of momentum.
I'm going to go 1-1.
God. Only 2 3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs.
It's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and I've got to go to West Ham at 8 o'clock to watch us get battered by City on Saturday night.
At least you're not going to City at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be tucked up in my bed if that was happening.
Arsenal, Everton. 5:30 kickoff.
I can just feel the exasperation coming from you. Everton away from home. I can see Everton getting something. I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibilities, but I think it'll be tough. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 again.
I was gonna go 1-1. Dave Moyes masterclass, hopefully. Chelsea, Newcastle, 2 5:30 kickoffs. What the fuck is happening?
Like why?
Why?
Why
is that needed?
Chelsea, Newcastle. That's a tough one with Newcastle not travelling very well this season.
I'm gonna go 1-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. Cool.
West Ham, City, the 8 o'clock kickoff, like you said. I think City are probably going to win like 3-1 or something. Do you know what I mean? Do they feels like they just come and steamroll you each season now? Oh,
every time. Haaland loves scoring against us. Like we generally turn over against City. There was a spell under Moyes where we were giving them games, like almost upset their title charge in one season and stuff and that, but majority of the time they absolutely steamroll us. So I'm gonna go 3-0 Man City.
Cool. Then Sunday games, 2 o'clock kickoff. Palace Leeds. I'm going Leeds 3-0 here. I think we're going to be too focused on the Conference League midweek and the week after. Who you got in the Conference League? Huh?
Who you got in the Conference League?
AK Larnaca, mate. I'm going Cyprus.
Oh, he's going home.
I'm going back to the motherland. if it still exists when I get there. I might be signed up for my national service by the time the game fucking starts.
Well, have a good time in Cyprus, and I Yeah, now you've said that, I'm probably going to go Leeds 2-1.
Yeah, we haven't done well after European games as it is, but
No.
this now being a proper knockout one, and the thought of travelling to Cyprus, which is like 5 hours for the players. Well, that's just a flight, really, but yeah.
And I
Cool.
mean, that Tottenham results puts you safe,
Yeah,
so it's
there's
like,
no need to worry, is there? He could rest.
nah.
He won't, but he could rest like all the fucking players. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
United Villa, one of the other 2 o'clocks. Tammy Abraham curse going to continue. I think 2-0 United.
Yeah, I think this is really tough for Villa. They've lost that third position to United. I'm going to go 2-0 Man United as well.
Cool. Then Forest Fulham. That's a big one for you.
Inconsistent Fulham. Can they strike? And can they give me something to feel?
This feels like a cup final for Forest. Do you know what I mean? Like,
This feels like a big one because West Ham play City. Well, this
yeah,
is funnily the reverse of what happened midweek. I didn't notice that.
strange, isn't it?
It is weird. Scheduling gods, or scheduling devils, as I should put them. I think Forest are going to win this game. I'm going to go 1-0 Forest.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go 2-1 Forest.
And
I know we
they
don't.
have to win it, so
I know we don't touch on top 6 games, but we're eventually going to probably have to talk about games Spurs are in when we get closer to the end.
they're getting battered at Anfield. What are we talking about? 4-0 Liverpool.
I can't wait to clip this up. It'd be them winning like 3-0 against.
Yeah, I know they do have those results at Anfield. I'm just remembering that crazy one that they went like back and forth against a few
They
seasons
still
ago.
lost that one, didn't they? It was after the Richarlison celebrate. Yeah, so yeah, cool. That's enough to just talk about Spurs. Then Monday late kickoff, Brentford Wolves.
Another Monday night game for Brentford after they play in the FA Cup on Monday night. I've got a rant about this, by the way. I'll save it for another pod, but I've got a rant about Monday night footballs. Brentford Wolves. I'm gonna go Brentford at home, but I don't feel confident about this. I'm gonna go 2-1 Brentford, but I don't feel right.
No, I'm gonna go 1-1. I don't know why. It just feels weird.
Feels weird.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a game that I can figure out. I don't know why, but hey ho, cool. Okay, there was your bumper episode. We got an hour and a half, it seems. So, yeah, I hope you guys made it to the end and enjoyed it. Sorry about all the scheduling conflicts. Not gonna lie, there's probably gonna be more coming up with me going to Cyprus and going to a stag do at the end of the month as well. But yeah, we'll do our best to get through. I hope you enjoyed that format as well. But yeah, feel free to rate and review the pod, tell your friends, and follow us on socials at Insta, TikTok, Blue Sky, Reddit at Other14FC Podcast, and email in at other14fcpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, otherwise, have a good one, Tom, and I'll catch you next week. No, not next week, the week after.
After next weekend, yes.
Yeah. See you.
See ya.